Hi, all, and welcome to our Impactful Projects and Planning micro training series. I'm Jamie Asdani. In today's session, we'll talk about strategies for managing our own time as project managers. So, when I'm working with folks who are managing projects in mission driven organizations, I often hear about the challenges they face in juggling multiple projects along with all of their other responsibilities. It absolutely can feel like we are performing a balancing act with plates that are already quite full. The key to managing multiple projects comes down to careful time management, managing not just the project's time, but also your own. And so I have 3 tips to share that I think might help. So my first tip is to schedule project management tasks. So for each of our project schedules, we've probably set an overall project deadline and deadlines for completing each of our outcomes or deliverables. And we've hopefully assigned concrete due dates for our project team to complete tasks and activities. We may even have set milestones within these deadlines or between due dates as points to monitor progress and celebrate success. We can use these deadlines, due dates, and milestones to help us schedule tasks for ourselves. So you might set a progress review task for yourself on or closely after a deadline or due date. Your task might be to confirm that deadlines or due dates have been met, that the outcomes that were created meet quality standards, or that progress be added to a report or communication. For any project or task milestones, you might set a task to check in with stakeholders or your project team to make sure that they have what they need to complete their work and that everything is on track. You might also want to create tasks for yourself for all of the other project management activities that we often have to do, like creating reports, conducting iteration or project retrospectives, setting up stakeholder meetings, drafting communications, etc. All of those things that are part of the project manager's role, but that aren't part of creating a project's outcomes or deliverables. How you manage this project management schedule will depend a lot on your own approach to managing your time and your project's context. So you may want to add these tasks to your own project, to your own personal to-do list or calendar so that they integrate easily with your other non-project tasks and responsibilities. Or you may add them into the project schedule so that they are visible to the project team. I've sometimes created a project management deliverable within a project so that I can add tasks and deadlines for things like reports and retrospectives and team meetings. Or I've added project management tasks to the project schedule, but labeled them clearly as project management to really separate them from the other project tasks. Now, the value of incorporating project management tasks into your overall project schedule is that you are able to see these management tasks alongside project tasks. And you can also more easily share these tasks with other team members and perhaps even delegate some of the project management tasks to those team members. So many project management tools do allow you to restrict or filter access to certain labels or certain deliverables so that not everyone can see them. And so this might be useful if a client or a stakeholder can see your project schedule, they have access to your project management tool, and you don't want them to also see all of those little pieces that you're doing that are your project management tasks. Sometimes, though, adding your project management tasks into the project tool or project schedule would mean that you are making them transparent to stakeholders or clients or leadership. And if you really don't want these folks to see those tasks, but you do want them to be accessible maybe to a project team, your internal project team, it might help to create almost a shadow project that only has your project management tasks. I sometimes do this with my clients. I may have a project in my project management tool that the client can access, and then a separate project where I'm managing all of the client work. I'm really doing the project management that only myself and maybe other members of an internal project team can see. Regardless of how you manage your schedules, you want to make sure you are scheduling project management tasks so that you can stay on top of all of the things that need to be done to manage your projects. With multiple projects, you may also find it helpful to block time each day or each week to focus on each of your projects. So setting aside 30 minutes or an hour each week for each project would allow you to focus on and complete some of your project management tasks. So you could use this time to assess progress, review quality or budgets, check in with team members, create reports, or accomplish other project management tasks. This dedicated time, I think, is especially important when we are juggling all of these projects on top of all of our other duties. Because if we only set aside time in our schedule for the meetings and the tasks that are related to completing the work of the project, and we're not setting aside time for managing the project, it is very easy to get overwhelmed. Another tip for juggling multiple projects is to focus on creating efficiencies. And so we can save time and be more efficient by not reinventing the wheel with each new project. I've talked about templates in another micro training, so I'm not going to belabor the point here, but across projects, creating and using templates for common activities and communications can really save you a lot of time. There are a few communication templates that I find work across most projects. So reminder emails, these tend to be pretty similar across projects. So a simple reminder template where I can pop in a task and a due date and maybe the project name and the subject is going to allow me to follow up with team members pretty quickly. Progress report templates or report slide decks also often work really well across projects, particularly if you're leading projects within the same organization. And so your leadership, your clients, your funders likely want to know similar information about project progress. So creating a template for reporting can save you a lot of time. A standard project team meeting agenda can also likely serve you across multiple projects. If you meet with your project team or key stakeholders pretty regularly, create a standard agenda and make minor tweaks for each project as needed. Most project management tools also allow you to create templates. So consider using a recent or more typical project as the basis for a template and spend some time setting up a standard template that you can work from for each project. Many tools come with templates that might also work really well for you. And some actually have AI, artificial intelligence features that can suggest tasks or help you build a template that's going to work for you. Our goal here is to create efficiencies in how we are managing our projects so that we don't have to spend as much time on standard project management tasks. If there are things you do again and again and again across projects, create or use a template so that you can do it the same way for each project. For a list of our recommended project templates, you can check out our project templates list. This is a free download that might help you consider which templates to create and use to help you develop some of your own project efficiencies. And that's available at yazdaniconsulting.com resources. There are also a lot of other templates on our website at that same link, from planning checklists and role guides to meeting agendas, a project retrospective worksheet that you could also start using right away across projects. So those are a few tips for juggling multiple projects. So make sure you are setting tasks and deadlines for all of the tasks related to managing your projects, not just tasks for the things that you need to do to build your project outcomes. You also should consider regularly blocking time to work on each project and on project management tasks, and then finding ways to create some efficiencies across your projects, such as using templates, might really help. And what I would say is that juggling multiple projects well really boils down to project managing yourself and your time as you manage all of your other projects. So great. I'm happy to take any questions you have. Please add them in the comments. If I'm not able to answer your question live, I'll try to respond later in the comments or to you directly. Also, you can find all of the ways to reach me at yazdaniconsulting.com contact. Feel free to schedule a time to talk with me about managing multiple projects. Okay, so one question is, how do I prioritize project management tasks alongside all of my other tasks? So when you have too much on your plate already, it can be really hard to prioritize, and there are only so many hours in the day. And so it's hard for me to say whether you should prioritize project work over your regular responsibilities, as that's going to depend a lot on what those responsibilities are and the impact of your project or projects. But in terms of the project management work and your project work generally, I would say that tasks related to moving a project forward should take priority. And so what this might mean that you're going to spend time working on a key deliverable that has an upcoming due date, or you're going to spend time communicating with a concerned stakeholder or team member who might delay the project over, prepping the weekly project team meeting agenda. But many of our project management tasks are really critical to moving the project forward. So that meeting agenda might actually be really important at any given time, especially if you need to have important conversations as a team or reach consensus. So it may help to determine whether something needs to be done now, could be rescheduled for a later time without having much impact on the project or your team, or if it could be delegated. There also may be project management tasks you are doing that aren't as valuable as you thought they might be when you started the project. So in a current project, I was sending out weekly emails to team members with reminders about task due dates. Even with a template, the reminder still took a little bit of my time. Because I pretty regularly would ask team members what was working well for them, we discovered that the emails weren't that helpful. So I stopped doing them. My point being that it might be worthwhile to consider whether you need to be doing everything you are doing. I think we have a tendency to want to practice project management based on best practice. And we want to use all of those fancy bells and whistles and features of our project management collaboration tools. But often those things aren't necessary for a particular project. Conducting more regular retrospectives with your project team and stakeholders can really help you determine what is working and what isn't, so that you can change course if needed. So there may be project management tasks on your plate right now that aren't adding value to the project or to your team or to your leadership that you can stop doing. And I think that might be the first step to really helping you prioritize. Okay, again, thanks, and feel free to comment or reach out and message me with additional questions. So thank you for participating in our Impactful Projects and Planning Micro Training Series. If you need support leading projects and teams, including project coaching to help you manage your own projects and juggle those projects, visit our project solutions page at yazdaniconsulting.com projects to learn more, and visit yazdaniconsulting.com IPP to view all of the sessions in the series and learn about upcoming micro trainings. Thank you.